And I feel like the little self-helpy cousin to that, I don't know who said it, I don't know who to attribute to, is like, if you only have 10% and you've given 10%, you've given 100%. Which is like, do what you can, like bring because I feel like those of us maybe who have, overachieving tendencies or busy brains is like, I'm gonna yes and so hard that I'm gonna weep. But it's like, you just be your best, most present self that you can in that moment, and that's gonna be more than a lot of people do on a daily basis.
Everybody, welcome back to Living the Next Chapter, the author podcast. We get to meet amazing people from around the world. And what I love is when I meet somebody uniquely creative, doing something fun, that's entertaining, interactive, all of those things combined. And these two do something that you're going to love. And what I love about all this, it reminds me of an experience I'll talk about in a few moments, but it reminds me of an opportunity my wife and I had. And it was so interactive and fun and memorable. I still think of it all the time. And that's what these two create, this really amazing, fun experience for an audience to feel engaged. It not only as a watching something, but being involved in it in real time. And both Jeff and Andy are here. Excited to have them on the show. Welcome to the two of you. Welcome to Living the Next Chapter.
Hello. Thanks for having us.
Whoa, Jinx.
Wow. You both said at the same time. It's like a drinking game, right? We can do that. Okay. Let's introduce each other. So I would love, Jeff, can you please introduce us to Andy? And then Andy, can you please introduce us to Jeff? And I'm going to watch.
I would love to. Please meet Andy Crocker. Andy is one part of Mr. and Mischief, and we work together to create experiences. We're experience designers. We'll get into more of that in a sec.
Yeah, but who am I?
You're Andy Crocker. You're like the director of the two of us, really doing a lot of the heavy lifting of the artistic direction in terms of like actors and performance minded. And then you're part of the writing and creative team because that's what we are.
So I directed you to be like, but say more. And then you did it.
Good job.
Wow.
This guy next to me is Jeff Crocker, and he is also part of Mr. and Mischief. He is oftentimes our producerial head, making things actually happen on time, on budget, but also is a creative producer. So understanding, he creates some of the guest experiences that we have, the interaction design, as well as the physical spaces we're in, and is often at times the lead writer of these pieces. So we work together, collaborating to make work in real life with real people, with making real thoughts and real feelings, hopefully.
I like it. Okay, now, fun fact time. Andy, what's a fun fact about Jeff? What do we need to know about this guy?
Oh, okay. Oh, I should also say he's also, I don't want to shock anybody, but he's my husband. That's not the fun fact. That's just like a thing.
Well, okay.
Now the secret.
But now the secret's out. We're married to each other.
Okay.
The fun fact about Jeff is that I hope I'm okay to say this one because it is one of my favorite facts.
I mean,
you won the worst writer competition in college. You wrote like a purposefully terrible short story that won an award for being so bad.
Yep.
I feel like it's good for this podcast.
Wow.
It was on purpose.
Good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's a fun fact.
Okay, so we got to be fair. Okay, Jeff, fun fact. Andy, what do you got?
I don't know where to begin.
Oh, here we go. A lot of fun facts.
I could think of facts. I could think of a lot of fun. I'm trying to think of like what's a fun fact. I can't. My mind is drawing a blank that is appropriate. And I just need to vamp for a second.
You want me to give you a hint?
Give me a hint.
Okay, you could do the one about the contest. I won a contest when I was little.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We could go with contest.
If you want to stay on contest, or you could go with what's sitting on top of our piano right now.
Oh.
You mean the haunted ventriloquist dummy?
Yeah, you can talk about that or
Great. No, I'll talk about the I'll talk about the contest. I believe, Andy, your fun fact is that you won you came in second place.
No, I won.
You won. You won an Annie the Orphan lookalike contest when you were how old?
Like 3 or 4. And what do you remember what I won?
You won a year of like McDonald's?
Oh my gosh, Jeff. I love you.
I just remember I remember what the other prize was.
Yeah, so I won a year's supply of Little Orphan Annie underwear.
That's right, Little Orphan Annie underwear.
And
but then there was also a lookalike contest for
Sandy, the dog.
Annie's dog, and the dog that won the lookalike contest won
a set of
Encyclopedia Britannica.
Yeah, the dog won encyclopedias, and I wore underwear. Well, I wore underwear, and I won underwear. My mom is still mad about this to this day. This is why it's like a classic.
I'm gonna think of some other fun facts during this.
Can we sprinkle them in?
We can do that all through. Yes.
Okay.
Fun fact episode. Put them all in there. I'll share one for me, just in case you're curious. I have been chased by a moose.
And you lived to tell the tale.
I am still here. Right? Yeah. So don't do that. They're
very big.
They're very, very big, and we call them swamp donkeys up here because they're not the smartest animal in the world. They're very pleasant from a distance, but yeah, they're quite large. So yeah, don't be chased by a moose.
No, thank you.
Great.
It's kind of like Northern Exposure Part 2. Basically.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. So yeah, that's my little fun fact. There we go. So we're off to a good start. We're enjoying this. I like this. Let's talk a little bit about, before we jump into what you guys are working on right now, your new project. You guys do a lot of live, in-person, kind of interactive events. Where did all this come from for you guys to start doing this and go down that path? With your background, you've been involved in so much with the entertainment business. Where does this idea of doing something live and interactive with an audience come from?
It's a great question.
Where did it come from?
Well, we both were working independently in different forms of entertainment. So I have a long improv background and traditional theater, television casting, like sort of putting together all these things. Jeff as well.
Yeah, I spent the first whole chunk of my career working in TV and film, mostly in like visual effects, as well as like documentary films and stuff. But then we would also be doing a lot of like underground short filmmaking competitions and stuff like that.
And then there came a fateful day where our friend Mike texted you.
Yeah, was my friend Mike texted me about there was an escape room for an escape room on a train to promote Murder on the Orient Express. And I was surprised by that. That's like a big to do of like, you're getting a whole train just to promote one movie in Europe. And so I was like, oh, will someone give us money to make an escape room for Waiting for Godot? And you have to get out of a production of Waiting for Godot, which is, if you're not familiar, is a notoriously boring to many people play where nothing happens.
And Jeff told me about it, and I was like, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Let's do it. And then we did it, and then our life changed forever. We just, this idea that we just made each other laugh so hard, making it real. We designed it to last for 24 hours, and it ran on and off for 2 years and changed the course of both of our careers because it was just so ridiculous. And it really ended up synthesizing our unique skill sets. And we had, obviously, like, being married is a collaboration. Having a house together is a collaboration. Having a kid is a collaboration. But this was the first time we took our artistic practices and our creative careers and synthesized them mostly out of a motivation to make each other laugh and wondering if it would make anybody else laugh. And it really did. And people got really into it. And we've been collaborating on stuff ever since.
Okay. And you guys go as Mr. and Mischief.
Yeah.
So I'm on the website while we're chatting. I've been scrolling through and clicking every button I can.
Oh no.
There's a lot of fun on there. There's a lot of different things you guys have done in the past. Through your website, when I click on your shows, what personally was the most fun, rewarding thing through all of these different shows that you've done that stands out for you personally? Jeff, what is it for you?
Don't make us choose.
Come on, pick one right now.
Well, I could choose one, and I think it also relates to a lot of what maybe your listeners may be interested in. which is we produced an experience called 40 Watts from Nowhere, which is based on the book 40 Watts from Nowhere, written by a woman named Sue Carpenter. And it's her memoir about how she ran an illegal pirate radio station out of her closet here in Los Angeles in the 90s. And it's an amazing story. It's super fun. But one of the things that drew us to the story was how it's all about sort of this community that she built, and the fact that at the time in the 90s, when you could still have illegal radio stations and podcasts didn't exist, was that like most of these pirate radio stations were all like heavily political in nature, and yet she was someone that's just like, I just want to play better music than all the like corporate radio stations are cropping up all over the place. And so I think that felt very good of just like, I have this idea to build this thing to bring people. So we created that apartment and brought people in and let them run the radio station, and then in their headphones hear the story of Sue Carpenter and KBLT at the same time.
And working with Sue, like, so taking her true story and adapting her book and really letting people embody, really literally, like at one, they don't walk in her shoes, but her shoes were on the set. She gave us her combat boots. To really, it's embodied storytelling is so exciting. And that was a really, really fun collaboration, is to take her work and work with her to help people embody her story. And it was a really emotional experience for people. And it also was just like very fun. And now we have so many records.
So many records.
So many records, because we built an entire radio station.
Wow.
That's a good pick, Jeff.
Yeah.
It's a good pick.
I think it's your turn.
Okay. Your turn, Andy. Yeah, come on.
And then, I mean, I couldn't pick a most fun because they're all fun, but I think probably one that's very obviously close to my heart is the Apple Avenue Detective Agency, which was, we adapted, it was an autobiographical piece about my own experiences as a kid detective with my friends in our neighborhood. And again, embodied storytelling, figuring out a way to keep the truth of the story of what happened to us as kid detectives and let people really embody it and play in our world, and also get back in touch with their most curious, most playful 11-year-old selves. Was a really moving experience, I think, for both of us. And having a daughter ourselves, like, just I'm going to use one of our actors, Jesse Sherman, used a great term, which was getting in touch with the scraped knee era of girlhood. You're just like, you're, out there in the neighborhood, playing hard, climbing trees, the scraped knee era. That was really moving.
Okay. So the one that caught my attention that I'm curious about is objectivity.
Oh.
This feels kind of like global event, pandemic type style event kind of thing. Is this kind of what that is?
Yeah. Objectivity was a commission from the Warehouse Theater in South Carolina. And it was specifically that same friend, Mike, that I mentioned.
Same guy.
Yeah. Their theater in South Carolina, they stopped producing live shows in person during 2020. And so he was just looking for all his sort of friends and colleagues and peers to be like, who is doing something that I can sell tickets to, continue to create revenue for the theater, while also still providing, some sort of theatrical experience. And so objectivity specifically, we very much refer to it as site responsive.
Site specific,
and the site is Zoom. And so a lot of folks in that era were producing some sort of Zoom type shows, and they were trying to break out of Zoom as what it is, which is video conferencing software that we were using all day, every day at the time. And so what we did was like, well, why don't we lean into it being Zoom and just say, hey, when you buy a ticket to the show, you get that link about a webinar that you are planning to attend.
So it was like, we didn't put Zoom in a costume. We were like, it is a webinar. And we said it's a fake seminar from a fake webinar from a fake expert about a real subject of decluttering. And so it was about sort of a debate between nostalgia and minimalism because there was a lot of people spending so much time in their houses. People were either like, I'm trapped by my stuff. I have to get rid of everything. Or like, all I have is my stuff surrounding me. It is my security blanket. So we took that and sort of, actually the original title was,
I don't remember the original.
oh my gosh, it was very funny and dumb. It was Marie Kondo's Neat and Tidy Variety Hour or something like that.
Something like that.
And but we ended up sort of teasing it out, and the sort of fun twist, which we can spoil because
it's not going to happen again.
Not going to happen again, probably, is that one of the participants in the webinar had a piano that you could not see because it's right below your screen, and he did live songwriting, and it suddenly turned into a musical about nostalgia and minimalism,
and incorporated a lot of
what all the objects that people brought to discuss. So if you had brought in a ceramic frog, you might hear about why the ceramic frog should be saved.
Polar bear stuffy.
Yeah. So
oh, you're doing it. You're doing it right now.
yeah, Bill. Like Bill would have totally saw that polar bear stuffy and would have gotten it.
And we're using Zoom in this
Exactly.
at the same time. This is very retro, by the way, right? Yeah, we're bringing it back.
We're so cool.
Style. I like this. This is great. So, okay, why is this so much fun though for you guys to do this interactive stuff? You're some of the stuff you've done has been behind the camera, kind of on set, but you're not actually the ones seen. Why is this so important and fun for you guys to create this kind of space for your audience?
Oh, are we going to say the same thing?
I don't know.
Ooh.
Oh.
3, 2, 1.
Mom yar.
I have no idea what you thought.
Say something from the thing.
I never have one single answer, like one word. Go for it.
I was just going to say, like, we really get a thrill out of setting other people up for this experience and passing the baton to them and sort of like building this like marble maze of how we think something is going to work and letting it go. It's terrifying. If you are doing a play, you have so much control over how the line is said and where people are moving and how people are going to behave in that space. Or if you're designing a roller coaster, like, good Lord, you have to know exactly how it's going to work or someone shall be hurt. So there is a real thrill to building something just to hand it off to somebody, right? We talk a lot about confidence and generosity, of like designing for giving something away. And I think there's a real thrill to that. Do you want to talk about we think about it as like a fountain, right? Do you want
I mean, that's your metaphor. I was going to say that for so much of our creative lives, we've always been looking outside the boundaries a little bit. Like, it's fun to have these things, for example, way back in the early 2000s, we were part of a group called Channel 101. I think they still do it. It's online, but it's also in person. And basically, it's a mini film festival where everyone makes 5-minute TV pilots, and then you all go hang out. You watch the TV shows together, and then you vote on who gets to be prime time, and then they get to make another episode. And so, like, taking that from a passive viewing experience, again, this is right before YouTube, into doing something that you had to be together and you had to engage and pat each other on the back and laugh together, and then there also be some sort of stakes that I am in competition. I am trying to get in there. That was always really exciting. We were always drawn to these like experimental forms of some more like traditional audience driven entertainment.
Yeah, we say like fun forward is a word we use a lot, people powered. And, there's something really beautiful and important about sitting down with a novel, and like that does something to your heart and your head that's really important. And you are active in that, right? You're imagining. There is something really beautiful about watching a great film and letting it wash over you and sort of take you like a wave, right? Or a painting that you go home and think about and try to understand what it meant. All of those things are really beautiful and lovely. Our art form is creating these experiences that cannot exist without the participant. It simply doesn't it just, so the analogy we use is a fountain, right? If a fountain without water is just a sculpture, which is great. Love a sculpture.
Sculptures are great.
But it's not a fountain. So if you say you're going to, so we like to really make sure we are designing like a fountain, or like I said, like a marble maze. I guess a marble maze without a marble is just a sculpture. Again.
Yeah. Okay. Andy, the one thing I would like to kind of lean into is the whole idea about improv and how that can help us. Because I teach podcasting. That's one of the other shows that I do. I have 9 different podcasts, by the way. One of my other shows.
How are you
awake
right now?
It's ridiculous. Coffee and adrenaline, the two things. But I teach podcasting, and I talk to people who host podcasts, interview guests, and I talk to guests about being on a show. And I always lean back on improv, because as a guest, you don't know the next question. You're thinking on your feet. You're reacting in real time, and you don't have a long runway to prepare in some cases. We're doing it today. We're just met, and now we're recording. So the idea of learning through improv, what are some of the key things do you think somebody could learn from spending some time with a local improv group that might get us out of our heads a little bit when we over-prepare, or we're so worried about knowing everything and having a safety net below us? What can improv do to help us to think quicker on our feet, be more fun and engaged and reactive? How does improv help us in that situation?
Well, okay. There's so many paths that lay before me, but I will say, I'll speak from my personal journey. That doesn't sound like me. That sounds like somebody else. But, well, first of all, Jeff also is an improviser.
There you go.
Not as storied as you.
I'm very old. No, I mean, one thing I will say is, like, as someone who is an anxious person who has been described as, a lot. I'm a lot. I'm anxious.
This is all news to me.
Yeah, you're right. Like, I have a busy brain, that I found improv to be the only time that I was fully present, right? That because you can't be ahead or behind. You have to be present, so that it isn't about coming up with the funniest thing. It's about being present. And I think there's even like a step before improv if someone's feeling like, oh, that is not for me, because that is very understandable, is that just being playful is another way of being present. So if you find yourself in a playful moment and you catch yourself in that, you're being very present, you're being very playful. I think that's even the one step before improvisation just comes a sense of play. And there's lots of ways to work that muscle, whether it's a game or riffing with your best friend or, tossing a frisbee around. I'm not sporty. I couldn't think of a single thing. I was like, what's a sport? Frisbee. Everyone loves a frisbee.
Classic.
First thing. Yeah.
So, that's maybe not as on the nose as some of the lessons that you learn from taking like a class at Second City or a class at Comedy Sports. But I think sometimes that can be a bit much for people too. So I would encourage folks to be like, if that seems like a big step, then like maybe it's just finding the other ways in which you're playful. Those are working those muscles of presence as well. The other thing I'll say is like, because I did so much improv and because I have a busy brain, like I can't do yoga because I'm just like spinning out. Like it's just, I don't meditate. I can't do yoga. But a couple years ago, I started doing training to do roller derby because I needed it to be like, if you stop being present, you will be physically injured. And that was how I found a way to be present and keep my brain present. So it could, not everyone needs to do roller derby, but there's lots of ways to find your most present and playful self. Improv is totally one of them. I love it. Changed my life. But if someone's like, not for me, find your playful spot somewhere else, because that's real helpful.
All right. One of the things I pick up on from improv as well, and Jeff, maybe you can talk to this, is active listening. Like you have to be part of it. You can't be like thinking about something else and then it's your turn and you're like, Right, you got to be actively participating and listening as podcasters, as guests, as authors getting on shows to talk about their books. You got to be engaged. You can't be distracted by whatever else is going on. You got to show up and you got to actively participate. So talk about the active listening side of improv.
Yeah, I mean, I think, right, that goes back to just that presence. And so a lot of the work that we do as Mr. and Mischief is creating these places, these situations to be fully present and require your presence and give you like stakes and a setting for the reason that you are there. And it's not necessarily about role playing. It is just about like being present, and it can't happen without you being there. And typically, as we talk about what we are working on now, like there are only infinite right ways to be a part of this. Because we are setting you up for a world in which you are required to be there. We are happy that you are here, and what you are giving is a big part of what we need. Whether it's as a kid detective, whether it's as running a pirate radio station, whether as an audience member trying to get out of this production of Waiting for Godot, like any of these things, like that presence is there. And once you are present, like you're saying, Dave, like you are listening.
Well, and I wonder also, like, I think, like, active listening, the best kind of active listening is just being genuinely curious about what the other person has to say, and facilitating that is really something that we love to do. And I think it's something, like, as a host, like, just, it's hard to fake being interested in something, but if you can find a way to stoke your like genuine curiosity in something or someone, then active listening is so much easier because you actually want to know the answer.
All right. Yeah, and I guess for me, too, another thing I think of for improv as it relates to promotion and all of that in conversation, there's two things come to mind. A moniker that I love is wherever you are, be all there, right? Like in the moment, be there.
That's great.
And another one is Theodore Roosevelt. It's attributed to him. But do what you can with what you have where you are, right? So you have everything you need to participate. You're not lacking. As long as you put those three elements together, do what you can with what you have where you are. Bringing that into the conversation, I think that also kind of underpins a little bit of what improv does, right? Because you're thrown into the moment. You have everything, all the tools you need. You are it. Let's go, right? You have to that yes and part.
And I feel like the like little self-helpy cousin to that guy, I don't know who said it, I don't know who to attribute to, is like, if you only have 10% and you've given 10%, you've given 100%.
Okay, I like
which is
that.
Like,
that's
do
good.
what you can, like bring because I feel like those of us maybe who have, overachieving tendencies or busy brains is like, I'm gonna yes and so hard that I'm gonna weep. But it's like, you just be your best, most present self that you can in that moment, and that's gonna be more than a lot of people do on a daily basis.
I like this. Again, I love what the two of you do, and your website's beautiful, by the way. We'll have
Thank you.
links for everyone to check it out. There's so much on there. I referred back to something that my wife and I experienced in the past. We went to Second City here in Toronto, and we went to Tony and Tina's wedding, and it was. We did zero research on this, by the way.
Right.
We went for our anniversary. We walk in with our tickets, and we're kind of milling around with other people who are there for the show. And then people start walking up to us and talking to us like we belong there. And we're like looking at each other like, what's happening right now? Like, why is this 70-year-old man walking up and welcoming me to the wedding? And then he's introducing me to someone else. And this is cousin Steve or whatever, cousin Dave. Everyone come over to cousin Dave's here. And I'm like, why are people talking to me? I have no idea what's happening. And then they usher us into the ceremony. We're sitting beside him, front row, on the bride's side of the wedding. And we are in the story, like completely immersed in this. And it took us a while to figure out what the heck was going on. But once we figured it out, we went with it. And
right.
We have zero training on any of this, right? But we had so much fun. Go down to the reception after. My wife is up dancing with the groom. Like, it's just this big party. And if you will allow yourself to be accepted into the story and to be a part of it, you have so much fun, right? So I think that's another element to this conversation that I really want to encourage people. If that's not your normal default, I'm a kind of an introverted guy. I'm not the guy that's the life of the party. I like to go home now. Can we go now? So being there made me kind of be a different version of myself. And I had so much fun. And that's what I love about what you two do, is you bring that element of fun and excitement and interaction where you leave kind of buzzing. Like, that was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that.
Well, I think something that's special about, now I have not seen this, I did not see the same production of Tony and Tina that you saw, but what I can assume about those kinds of performers is like a big difference between typical improv training and what you experienced was that like trained improvisers, I would say, are trained to improvise with other improvisers, right? We have a shared language, we know yes and, we have these, touchstone phrases, but there's a very particular kind of gift that a performer in immersive, interactive, or participatory theatrical work have to have, which is like they need to be able to meet you where you are as a guest. Right. And so the fact that you're like, I'm kind of an introvert and I still think about this piece today, like says so much to the director and the performers that they were able to feel what you needed in that moment and adjust their performance scale to what would work for you. And I think that's what we spend
so much time
thinking, talking, writing, and theorizing about, and then putting it into practice with our work, which is like, how do we don't want to make work just for the enthusiast. We want to make work for someone that came in knowing nothing and leaves and still thinks about it to this day. And like,
I think similarly, one of the things that Tony and Tina's wedding has done so well is like, for the most part, you know what it's like to be at a wedding. And like, it's maybe a wedding. Obviously, it's a wedding unlike you've ever been to before. But it has
its cultural specificity.
Yeah, but like it's still a sort of modern age style wedding. And so a lot of what we do is like, we want to, with our show Escape from Godot, like it is about like, okay, you know what it's like to go to a theater. We'll start there. But as you get into other stuff that we've created, like Apple Avenue, and 40 Watts from Nowhere, it's like, okay, you may not know what it's like to run a secret radio station out of your apartment. So what are the things we need to do and how quickly do we need to do them in order for you, if you consider yourself a little shy or introverted, to feel comfortable about whatever it is you're going to need to do. And for us, we like to keep that interaction to be as easy and harmless as possible. So in the case of 40 Watts, it was like, you're going to be here, you're going to get on the mic, and you're going to play a song. And that's all you need to do. And people didn't even need to do that. But we encouraged everyone to like find a record, play the record, introduce the record, and that's it. And the rest of it is going to happen around you, and we will meet you there.
And we want to reward participation, but never punish opting out of something. Correct. Right? So that it's always an opt-in experience. You will be rewarded just like experientially by, interacting. But if you just want to watch, like we never push the spotlight on anyone. We never punish someone for saying no thank you, or even make someone say no thank you, because it's always opt-in. Who wants to get up to the mic? And then we try to make sure we have activations that are designed for shy campers, as we like to call them, for like the person, give them a hero moment.
Yeah, exactly.
Even if that hero moment is literally like just opening an envelope and showing everybody what's in the envelope. That might be like jumping out of that might be like bungee jumping for somebody.
Yeah. And I think too, going back, Jeff, reading through your bio on your website, you've done a lot of stuff for like TV, movies, and things like that. And all of that, all those elements of what you've done have also helped people to get connected with the story quickly.
Yeah.
All of those things you built, right? If you take like a movie set in the 50s, easy. Take all the new cars off the street, put all 50s cars on the street. You're ready to go. It sets the mood, it sets the tone, and
exactly. It's time efficient, right? When you have a movie, you've only got 90 minutes or maybe more. But like, hey, I got to make sure everyone knows where we are right away
and how it feels. Like because like 1950s in one kind of movie feels really different than 1950s in another kind of movie.
Yeah. Okay. All right, I could talk to you guys all day about your background and all this. There's a lot to cover. Website's a good source. let's talk about the new project you're working on, because that's also why we're here today.
Yeah.
Launching in October. Am I correct with this?
That's right.
Let's start.
We are working on, so we typically do live in-person experiences, shows, some people call them.
Yes.
Right, those are usually in one place at one time. And so for the first time, we've made a zine, or what we are calling a manifesto. I covered your face. There we go. And it is called Infinite Right Answers. And it is sort of the way it is a place that we are starting to gather, or have gathered, the thoughts on how we go through the creative process in developing something that is fun forward and guest powered.
But not necessarily a show. So I think what we really wanted to do was like take our because we get asked a lot about like our creative process, or like our creative North Stars or compasses, or whatever metaphor you want to use. And because our work has been thus far experiential, it's really hard to explain without having done it. And because we really value making the work, we don't have time to write a whole book. And also, I think it's better to have it be consumable and get right to it. Actionable and activate. So it also has like interactive prompts and very mischievous puzzles involved in it, because there are infinite right answers. So it's not really a puzzle. That it's like a workbook plus a zine plus a greatest hits of things we like to talk about when we talk about design. Because just because something is unscripted, right? Like thinking about an interaction you might have had at Tony and Tina's wedding where they ask you something, they don't know what you're going to say.
Right.
Just because your part isn't unscripted doesn't mean the performance isn't designed to create that sensation and that safety for you. So for us,
work with whatever the audience gives them.
This whole zine, manifesto, little book, LIL, is about how to create for the possibility of not knowing what comes next, and delighting in that.
All right. Who is this for? I want that person listening to be like, put their hand up. This is mine. Who is this for me? Who is this for?
Who is it for? It's for, I think, anybody that is building work that really wants there to be some give and take with their audience.
Or their collaborators. I would also say,
or their collaborators
that work with other humans in a creative way. So if you are a teacher, I feel like this would be really valuable. If you're a teacher, if you want to have a relationship with the people that you're in a room with talking about creative stuff that is collaborative and that is nurturing and playful, like, then that's what this book is about. This book is about how to how to tell stories with someone, not to someone.
Okay, that's a good point. I like that.
I think there's also an aspect from the very start of it that is about releasing the tension of the I would say releasing someone from the tyranny of it all starts with what is the story, and recognizing the fact that, like, stories have to come from somewhere, and therefore it can start with any other thing. You can have an idea that is anything else that you're excited about investigating or creating around. It doesn't have to be once upon a time all the time right away. And so there's a lot of I think, I don't know, guidance is the wrong word, but
Is it?
Okay, there's a lot of guidance in just like, allow yourself to be inspired by a kernel, just a kernel of an idea.
Well, like, so for example, with Escape from Godot, like, we weren't like, what's the story? We were like, no, the bit is you are in an existential play that goes on a loop forever.
And if you solve enough puzzles, you get out.
Leave. And I mean, I guess that's a story, but really it was more of an interrogation of a feeling, right? Or of a concept. It could be a pet peeve. It could be a curiosity. It could be a holiday. It could be, I have a really cool fireplace in my space and I want to activate it in some way. Like, they're all valid. And so yeah, we talk about starting points, we talk about collaboration, and we talk about giving creative autonomy away whenever you can and how that feels to do that.
Okay. What are you most proud of when you think of this going out into the world, Andy? What makes you happy knowing this is going to go out in October?
Oh, I love this question.
Come on.
Most proud. I think
Good question.
when you make work, when you build a career out of making things that haven't existed before and have their own shape, you spend a lot of time trying to explain what you do to other people. Like, it was a lot easier when I worked on a soap opera and I was like, I work on a soap opera. I work on Days of Our Lives. And people have like heard of it. And then I'm like, bye. I'm really proud of us putting words to things that are tricky to put words to, these creative sensations, and not having it be 400 pages long and having it be digestible and readable and fun. I'm really proud of the economy of words we've put around things we spend thousands and thousands of words thinking and talking about all the time.
All right.
And that's a lot of
All right.
Jeff's amazing illustrations.
Well, and I will add to that too, of just like making sure, similar to what you were talking about being at Tony and Tina's wedding, like there being a lot of space for a reader to jump off from what we've given them. It's not about prescription, it's about inspiration.
Yeah, passing that, like, we pass the baton in the book, lit, tiny guy. We pass the baton in this stack of papers the same way that we do in our live work, which is like, hey, we're going to set you up, we're going to give you a feeling, we're going to give you prompts. Now you go.
Okay. I like it.
Good.
Yeah. So I have one other question I want to ask the two of you to respond to. But let's talk about the website before we go there. I want to honor your time. I could talk to you guys all day. I'm really enjoying this. Take us to the website. Jeff, where do we go? And where do we find out more about purchasing the book?
Yes.
I'd love to get that information. Tell us about that, please.
Yeah, go to mrandmischief.fun. That's the website. At the moment, you'll see a little box on there about it. It is coming soon. At the moment, if you scroll all the way to the down and sign up for the newsletter, that'll be the first place to get the information about purchasing.
Sale. Newsletter, baby.
Which will be coming very soon.
Okay. All right. Anything else on the website, Andy, that we should be aware of from your point of view?
No, I love that you liked it and poked around all the places. I think, go to the website. Our very infrequent but always jam-packed newsletter. Our Instagram is a good place occasionally.
Yeah.
And I hope that, and we do some traveling too. So follow those things so we can meet you in real life. And bring things to wherever you are, listeners, because we love making mischief all over the place.
There you go. Okay, here's your shared question as we wrap up. Andy, what have you learned about Jeff in the process of doing this book and this mini zine going out into the world? What have you learned about Jeff in the process of doing
I don't think you have enough hard drive space to
come on, let's go
for this sound file.
Wow. I'm trying to pick one. It's like your fun fact situation.
I get it.
I think it was a great reminder, because this is on paper and I'm a very kinetic learner, out loud processor, all that stuff. I knew this, but I was reminded, I'll say, how profoundly deliberate you are with ink and page, and how much heart you put into the ink on the page. And we spend so much time in ephemera town with our work. It was really lovely to capture it and not have it be the starting point, but have it be the piece itself. I love you.
Oh, come on. Okay, before we turn the camera off, Jeff, same for you. What have you learned about Andy in the process of this project?
You know, I was going to say the same thing, but with words, like how deliberate you are with the words that you use to share the concepts, and that every word is chosen with an artisan's precision.
That's so diplomatic.
But I think that is sort of how we work together, which is we are precise about everything that goes into it, and there's just enough tinkering up to the last second about everything, because we know every little bit makes a difference, whether it's words on a page, whether it's a script, whether it's how we're bringing audience members into a space, or an email prepping them for them coming to our experiences. Every little bit of it, I think you were very deliberate with all the words, and reminded me of just like, check the document. I used the words in there.
I love you. Oh,
I love you.
I do have. What was the Teddy Roosevelt quote that you had said before?
Do what you can with what you have where you are.
And I love this, because something that I think it might even be in the book, I'm not sure, is we always talk about, like, there are so many things you can't predict, so know all you can. And so
Say this.
Oh no, I gotta save it for someone's gotta read that. No, but like we talk a lot about, like, and I think that precision of ink to paper and words we choose, it's like, because we want to pass it to you and have that baton pass be genuine. And so it's like, we can't control what happens the second we pass that baton. So we want to know all we can, because there's so much that we don't know.
Okay.
Can't.
All right. It's amazing. Let's end off with a fun fact, because, we promised another one. We got to do it before we go. Fun fact, favorite place you want to go back to, time, place, whatever. Favorite place you want to go back to right now, jump in the car, jump on a plane, go back in time, go back to a location. Jeff, where do you want to go? Where would you go right now? There's no limit. You can go anywhere, anytime, any place. Where would you go back and relive a memory?
I think I think Japan. I think we've had a lot of good memories in Japan.
Nice.
We went there for our first anniversary, and then unbeknownst to us in the future, I ended up working there for a little while. So that was pretty fun. I will say close runner-up is all of Southeast Asia. Was just an adventure, and the people are great.
Well, I've never been
Okay,
there.
well, you get to answer
So I can't go
yourself.
back.
Yeah.
No, I was going to say Japan too, because we also went before we had a kid, and before we knew we would have a little girl that, like, loves Godzilla more than anything.
Yeah.
So I think I would love to go back there as a creative family. And my second runner-up is I know this sounds crazy, but we went to a conference this summer.
Oh yeah.
In Urbana-Champaign in Illinois. It was like a retreat. It wasn't a conference. Called Worlds in Play. And to be surrounded by so many playful humans for 3 days was like, that's a thing I think about when I need to get my stress levels down.
Nice. It's amazing. Mr. and Mischief, thank you so much for making time to do this. You guys are so much fun to talk to.
Thank you.
I would love
Thanks
to
for
have a
having
part
us.
2 in the future. Could we
Sure.
ever get together again?
Yeah.
What do you think?
We're around.
We'll keep writing.
All right. Okay, keep writing, and then I have more excuses to come and talk to you guys.
Love it.
Excellent. Everyone, all information is always in the show notes. Mr. and Mischief.f. Fun, of course, because it's right in the name. And excited for everybody to go check it out. Grab a copy of the book. It's going to be fun. You're going to enjoy it. And you have a money-back guarantee. These two will come to your house and make you dinner if you don't like the book. That's part of it's in the small print. Really, really small print on the website.
Really small
Really,
print.
really small. So if you're interested, please go grab a copy and get out there and try something fun. Go do some improv. Go watch improv. Go be a part of something fun. And again, go check out Mr. and Mischief.fun. Everybody, thank you guys so much for doing this. Appreciate you guys.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Hey, thanks for being here. Thanks for being here all the way to the end of the podcast. You are the best. LivingTheNextChapter.com is our website. If you're interested and you want to know more, Go there, check out all our links. You can find everything to do with Living the Next Chapter all in one place at livingthenextchapter.com, including a calendar link. Yeah. So whether you want to come on the show as a guest and talk about your book and your writing and all that, or you just want to get together and have a virtual coffee with Dave, it's right there on livingthenextchapter.com. The calendar, my links, my buy me a coffee, because I love my coffee. Anything to do with Living the Next Chapter you can find at livingthenextchapter.com. I would love for you to come and see what we're doing over there. Thanks for being here. Thanks, Drew, for being part of the show. Catch you on the next episode. Take care.